Are you easily persuaded? Would you join a cause if a man with a stick and a donkey showed up at your door and waved the stick around? In this video, we will not be creating our own units in Age of Empires 2, but rather converting others to our cause, whether they like it or not. Why? Those born into a cause are more wishy-washy than those converted. They chose our way of life. They're stronger and more devoted. One could create units from buildings, however, that's a waste of resources, and the normie way. By converting units, one gets the pick of all units available on the map, rather than restricting oneself to one's own race. We begin the game with the missionary as one of our starting units. In my last video, I stated that the missionaries were my new favourite unit, because of his donkey, and that they gave me an idea. It was this. It wouldn't be in the holy spirit of the challenge to wait until the castle age and create one then, and after some noodling around in a custom game editor, we can finally begin.
Get on with it!
In my excitement of figuring out how to make a custom game, nobody has a scout unit, including myself. Houses are built to allow our new colony to grow. I like to think that my villagers were on those missionary trip things you hear about, but were caught in a shipwreck, and they were the only ones that remained. But their missionary trip went on. Searching and searching for the non-believers to convert to our cause. Here are some non-believers now. Villagers are perfect. More villagers will get us more supplies for the future and build buildings for research. We have plenty of sheep, so let's make a little place for them to live and back out to look for more non-believers. I put the map on ludicrous size in an attempt to gain lots of units from the 8 enemies. From the 7 enemies that are about on this map. But we don't have a scout and the missionary is painfully slow. So progress, like the missionary, is slow. The guys who killed me again, I found them! By hiding around the corner, I can convert their villagers. Recharge around the corner, out of sight, do it all again. They don't appear to have any military units, which is good and bad. I would have loved to begin my army, but this would have killed my missionary. From doing this a couple of times, we reached double figures from converting their units. I never usually build a marketplace in Age of Empires 2. No one wants to be my friend. So why would I set up a trade deal, wasting my hard-earned resources for a one-sided trade deal that I needed 2 feudal age buildings to advance? Why waste room and resources for military buildings with just a shell of a building? The marketplace would actually come in useful later. As we ran out of stone deposits, and try as I might, could not find any, so we resorted to buying stone from the marketplace. Upon reaching the castle age, we were able to construct our most important building, the monastery. And with the advance to the castle age, of course, everybody else had to as well. Quickly, back to the orange guys. My hidey hole had been compromised. Fortunately, I had researched building conversion. I always found this strange. How does one convert a building? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on how you think this works. I wouldn't be able to create new units from this building, however, it would act as an excellent spy and has a cool elephant poking out. Right on cue, the orange guys already have a monk, and he's just standing there and doesn't suspect a thing. Just a few waves of my magic stick and we secured our first monk, and another unsuspecting monk takes his place. A few waves of our magic stick and bam, another. Now that we had secured monks, I could collect the few relics I had found dotted around the map. I would have liked to have a relic win. A relic win would have been themed to our challenge. However, with the lack of a scout unit at the beginning of the game, and only a missionary to find the relics, this would have proven slow and difficult. Perhaps next time. Discovering and retrieving relics meant more of the map was uncovered and we were able to discover new neighbours. This time, green. This was the only other settlement I found. I regret putting it on ludicrous size. I got the band back together. which in hindsight was a mistake, because I should have assigned a sole survivor monk. Now that the band was all back together, I set about converting the green units. Under the guise of converting their windmill, I drew them out. As the game progressed, however, my neighbours became more and more aggressive. The more units I converted, the more that drew them out, and the more units we could convert. I used these units to protect the monks, but we needed these units alive. Damaged was fine, monks can heal them, but they were no use to me dead. Their aggression was starting to become a problem. From then on, things were not easy. At one point, we even died and I had to reload. Finding other settlements proved difficult without a scout unit, and the two we knew of were on high alert each time I headed over. Green at one point even had their units die each time their units were converted, which I thought was real rude. Inquisition was an important research, mostly because no one would suspect it. But this was a unique technology to the Spanish. Monks converted faster and increased missionary range by 1! We had poured all our resources into improving the monks in any way possible. I decided against researching into other units, as it was rare to even attain a unit or two, and our choices were limited. Beggars had to be choosers in this weird conversion challenge. Despite our best efforts with researching into our monk, it still wasn't enough. Green died any time I attempted to convert them. Orange were ready any time we got close, and who knows where anyone else was. After my monks were wiped out in excursion together to convert some green units, another reason why I should have assigned a sole survivor monk, it was time to rethink my strategy. I'm mildly annoyed I didn't think about this from the get-go. In my previous video, the enemies hated when I built outposts and guard towers. They came from all over just to fight for it. I was so focused on my missionary and converting units that I hadn't put much thought into expanding my settlement. Gathering up a few villagers, I built some walls that would protect my monks and placed down an outpost to bring the enemies to me. Right on cue, the enemies sensed it from miles around and came to attack them. They destroyed them at times, but they weren't for spying. It was to draw them out. I had built the walls and outposts a little too far away, but after building some more walls, the monks were able to reach them. Even though I forgot to build walls on the side of me and they could just walk right round, this actually worked. Them walking round worked in my favour. I gained so many knights. Good job, me! Shame I didn't think about this plan earlier. We even gained a scout unit, which I'd wanted since the beginning of the game, and promptly did nothing with him. Somehow, Green was still breaking through my rather pathetic excuse for defences, and got a slow battering ram round the map to attack my castle. This time I built walls to protect my settlement, rather than for conversion. Soon after, a battering ram broke through these walls, and when a trebuchet was destroyed whilst attempting to convert it, I knew the Greens had researched heresy. If others researched this, I knew it was game over. It was time to end this. Now. Like I said, I would have liked a relic win, but I knew the Greens had a relic, and had no idea where to get any others. Total annihilation was also out of the question. The manpower was just not there. And with the threat of others researching heresy, this was too much of a risk. So I went with old reliable, a wonder. Now I'd love to say, I built the wonder, let the timer run out, and won without a hitch. But this game has just been hitch after hitch after hitch. In a moment of stupidity or just being the Blurst, I had prioritised aesthetic over practicality and placed the wonder at the end of this cute little island spit. Meanwhile, I naively improved our defences to protect the wonder, gaining units that attempted to damage the wonder in the walls. All of this proved useless when a boat pulled up. Red! Someone we hadn't seen before. This was the first time I had seen a boat, so I was very excited to gain one. But each time we got close to converted, they either moved away or killed a monk and went back to destroying the wonder. And whilst I was distracted by the boat, Green tore my walls down, proceeded to aid in destroying the wonder. Perhaps this wasn't the best location for the wonder. Attempt number 2. Once the Wonder was destroyed, I attempted to reload an earlier autosave, but the Wonder was still under attack, so it was back to an even earlier save. Before I'd even built the walls, I built them closer to the settlement this time, and an outpost, and hoped it would be enough to draw someone over. Green hadn't researched heresy at this stage, but it was still a threat. I wasn't ready to take that chance. I built the Wonder as early as I possibly could, this time more inland. I dotted outposts all over the map. Again, something I should have done at the start of the game, but live and let learn. This drew over a cyan archer, like a moth to a flame. But the monks were too far away, so I let him fight it out. I was cautious not to convert too many units, as the threat of heresy was still there. Built guard towers for protection, and kept the few units inside the walls that we had, just in case of a breach, to protect the monks. Another boat arrived. Purple. But with the Wonder more inland and surrounded by walls, it was safe. We were unable to convert it, however. I would have liked to finally have started a navy. But eventually, after an action-packed and nerve-wracking 500 years, the timer ran down and we had won with our Wonder. This video, as said previously, was inspired by my other Age of Empires video. A few changes I'd make in the future is probably less enemies. I chose 7 enemies in an attempt to get as many units as possible. And I put it on ludicrous because I got excited and I'm an idiot. Those would be the first changes. Less enemies, smaller map. And maybe scout units, so then we could gain some and explore the map a bit easier. I do feel like I chickened out with the Wonder win, so next time I won't do that. Maybe next time I'll even do it on an island. If you liked this video, why not check out some of my other videos? Or why not give this challenge a try and let me know how it goes in the comments below. I know you'll probably do better than me, but if nobody else does it, how will you know? Or even just say hi in the comments, or give a like, or even subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We're very close, as of this video, to 250 subscribers, which is wild to me. And thank you for everyone allowing me to be a human. It took me ages to make this video, due to life and spending time with friends and family. But for now, I have to go bake some cookies. Keep being the Blurst. Goodbye!